Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Under Further Review with me, Oganata. In these segments, I'll be giving you a quick look at each team going into the 2013 season. I'll be talking about last season, the off-season, favorite picks from the draft, player position, and my favorite, can they make the playoffs? Today on my board, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers from the AFC North Division. So let's quickly look at what happened last year. Well, they went 8-8, did make the playoffs. Running game was horrible and ranked 26th in the league. Defense was stellar though, and they ranked statistically first in the league. And Ben Roethlisberger got injured midway in the season and never kind of regained focus and blew his chances for the Steelers to make the playoff spot late in the season. The off-season. So the big question this offseason is, can this team make a playoff run even though this seems to be a rebuilding year for the Steelers? Well, GM Kevin Colbert says that they aren't rebuilding and transitioning, but I think it's hard to not see that it actually is. 2011 lost a lot of starters, and same thing goes into this year. I mean, they lost a lot of starters like James Harrison, Will Allen, Rashad Mendenhall, Max Starks, Mike Wallace, Willie Colon. Those are just the more notable people that were left, so they're gone. They didn't jump to free agency to get those guys replaced, and what seems to me that they're going to stick to the fresh young guys that they can get in the draft. One thing they did want to do better, which they haven't been able to do lately, was to run the ball better. So, and they need someone healthy to do so, to carry that load. So they went and drafted Le'Veon Bell, who seems to be a starter right out of the gate for the Steelers. They also brought back William Gay, and they have a new group of guys backing up Ben at QB. I think this biggest question in general is that, are the days of smash mouth Steeler football over? Are the Steelers changing the style of football they have played for so many years? My favorite picks from the draft. I think the Steelers had a very, very good draft. I thought they missed some depth on the offensive line that they could have gotten with the draft, but it was pretty decent all around. So my favorite picks go to first rounder Jarvis Jones from Georgia and third rounder Marcus Wheaton from Oregon State. Jones to me was just a home run for the Steelers, who should start immediately this season, probably taking over Harrison's spot on the defense. He's everything you want out of a linebacker. He's strong, he's smart, a force in the backfield, and can tackle very well. I will be definitely keeping my eye on him this year. Marcus Wheaton is a speedy receiver who can be a huge vertical threat and take over Mike Wallace's spot. I like this pick because it seems like they're literally drafting another Mike Wallace all over again, and could be a nice piece to the offense and wide receivers. Positions: quarterback. Ben Roethlisberger hasn't played a season healthy since 2008, and that's when they won the Super Bowl. So last year he injured his ribs in his shoulder. He needs to find a way to stay healthy for the Steelers, as he just plays fantastic football when he is healthy on the field. He threw for 3,265 yards and 26 touchdowns, and could have been more. So this guy gets it done, and he is obviously an elite quarterback, but he needs to stay on track to have a healthy 2013 season. If he can't get that done, then look out, because the backups don't look too promising, with Batch and Leftwich already gone, and new backups Bruce Gradkowski and Landry Jones are helping them out in Pittsburgh. Running backs. Well, I think Le'Veon Bell is the starter for next year for the Steelers, who sits at a 230-pound body and is 6'1". I think that maybe he can bring back that smash mouth type of football they use on offense. Kind of like the Jerome Bettis days. Maybe that Bell can bring that back to the Steel City. With backups Isaac Redman and Jonathan Dwyer and Rod Stevens howling, they can help Bell and the rushing attack if it's too much for Bell to handle this in his rookie season. Wide receivers. Wallace is gone, so that puts Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Brown as the main starters. I honestly don't know who's the number one guy, though, so this is going to only tell in training camp. I'm eager to see rookie Marcus Wheaton, who will probably play at the slot this year, to see what he can muster up. And then there's veteran Heath Miller, who led the team in catches last year and tied with Mike Wallace in touchdowns with 8. Then the poor guy I think he tore his ACL in week 15, so I don't know when he might be ready. He looks like he will be out for another 6 weeks prior to the beginning of the season, so Matt Speth, David Johnson, and David Paulson need to step up and take over the spot for that short time period until Miller is ready to return. Offensive line. This fairly young group of linemen are going through transitions as they will play without Willie Collin at guard and Max Starks at tackle. So the line looks like this right now. You have your Pro Bowl starter in Marquise Pouncey, who should be solid, Marcus Gilbert and Mike Allen at the tackles, and I don't know who will be playing where, and guards Raymond Foster and a healthy David DeCastro. This line is thin with backups, but boy does this line have a lot to prove. I like the way they are looking going into this season. Defensive line. This line will have nose tackle Casey Hampton playing this year, so in comes Steve McLendon, who seems to be a solid fit. The ends will consist of old man Brad Kessel, who's just been getting better with age, and Ziggy Hood, who needs to play better and has been showing the signs of disappointments. Linebackers. Well, this is the bread and butter of the defense, and in recent years, the bread and butter has melted or been soggy. So they drafted talented Jarvis Jones to bring back a little life to this. Larry Foote is getting old, but he's still productive, along with Lamar Woodley, who had a down season last year. Lawrence Timmons is the standout guy from this group who just has blossomed into a playmaker and has led the team in tackles last year. We're going to see if this group can get back on track, so I'm interested to see if that can happen. Secondary. Well, the pass defense ranked first last year, and for the second straight year. Though they lose Keenan Lewis this year and will have William Gay, Cortez Allen, and my favorite, Ike Taylor, playing the cornerbacks. Then there's the declining play of Troy Polamalu, who just needs to find a way to stay healthy. Ryan Clark, who's just flat out been kicking butt, has been great. These two are dangerous when they play together. Unfortunately, this might be the last year that they play together, so being healthy is the only option at this point. Special teams. Kicker Sean Susham connected on 28 of 31 field goal attempts last year, so I'm excited. Another solid, consistent year for the 7-year pro. Punting will be battled between Drew Butler and Brian Moorman, and kick and punt returning could go to LaRod Stevens-Howling, but I mean, we'll see. It's early, still training camp. Lots of positions still to be filled. Can they make the playoffs? I'm going to have to say no. And I'm going to put a steel curtain on this season for the Steelers. Again, they lost more starters and are in need of some young, fresh guys to take over a new era in Pittsburgh. I read that there are issues also in the locker room that seems to be fractured. It's not a good situation for the Steelers team that is looking to reload and rebuild with younger talent. So where is the leadership going to come from? There seems to be an undeniable surge of selfishness on this team, especially with young players, so it's creating not so Steeler-like situations right now. I think Big Ben can have another fantastic year, but this guy is showing signs of getting injured almost every season now. So he needs to really work and strive to stay healthy. On defense, there are 4 brand new starters, and they're banking on these guys that can statistically keep them high in the rankings up and play well. Honestly, I think they could get close to make a spot to the playoffs, but I just think the talent and experience they've lost in the past 2 seasons will affect this team, and it's causing it to seem like this team's in a funk right now. In the next year, I think maybe things will be on the brighter side, and they could get things turned around, and it can look a little more realistic. But there's no denying that this team is transitioning and is rebuilding going into this year. I think they need a lot of special things to happen for this team to be anything special for the Steelers this year. And with that, my football fans, ends my segment on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Please leave any comments below and subscribe to my page. I hope you all enjoyed my video. And probably the next division I'll probably look at is the NFC South division. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Anyways, come back and keep watching my videos, and I will see you later.